For All Mankind, Season 4, Episode 7, Crossing the Line. This is the episode where Mars is on strike. And unfortunately, the strike ends in this episode too. I thought it was going to be something that continued on for the rest of the season, but no, they just did it for one episode. Now, it's notable that this was all written and filmed before the writers and actors strikes, so it's not really presented informed with those strikes in mind. And I'm also cognizant of the fact that this is being produced for Apple, which does not have the best track record when it comes to respecting, the desires of workers. Just look at how their phones are made. This doesn't have necessarily a satisfying conclusion for the striking workers, unfortunately. But like I said last week, I was genuinely surprised to see that Ed Baldwin was the one who was spearheading the strike. Considering how much of like a conservative good old boy kind of character that he is, but he had just been removed as XO, and I really think he was just looking to get revenge for getting fired, basically, which Danielle Poole points out during one of their contract negotiation things during the strike, that she's just like, you're literally just here to stick it to us. But one of the big asks for the striking workers is that the Goldilocks asteroid be brought into Mars orbit, not to Earth orbit like the new plan is, because a lot of their jobs, a lot of their bonuses were tied to the promise of asteroid mining on Mars. And if the plan is changed and all the asteroid mining is going to Earth, then Mars is kind of going to dry up. And Dev Iessa, who's the CEO of Helios, and who this episode is now on Mars, where he's moving to Mars, he's leaving Earth behind, this is his planet. He's the one who, ends the strike. He offers people quite a bit to end the strike, but unfortunately he doesn't offer like a deal to the whole union. He's like, the first 100 people who cross over to this side will get like quadruple wage bonuses. So basically the first 100 people who break with the union are getting like $1 million a piece. That's definitely an offer that will get a lot of people to break with union solidarity. And it works, and the union it's done. There's no union after that. There's like 5 people who don't walk over. But Dev has been presented as like what Elon Musk sees himself as. Dev is like an actually competent person. He still has his ego, and he still has this vision of creating this utopia on Mars. But unlike Elon Musk, he's not a complete idiot about it. He was very smart in how he broke that strike. He gave a lot of people a lot of things that they were asking for. He gave a lot of bonuses to a lot of people. So like for the most part, for most of the workers on Mars, even though they're not recognized as a union, they still got a lot of what they were asking for. But Dev did it as a test. Dev wanted to see who there wasn't going to cross the line, because he envisions Mars not just as an outpost for Earth to make money. He wants to build a new society here, and he wanted to see who was motivated more by principle than by greed. And Ed was one of the people who didn't cross over. And Dev doesn't want the asteroid to go to Earth. Dev wants to steal the asteroid. Part of his whole plan was just finding out who wasn't going to be swayed by his offers of $1 million. So he is probably going to be working with them to pull an asteroid heist. I have no idea how that's going to be pulled off. That should be a fun plot for the rest of the season. I am still disappointed, though, that the strike ended so quickly. I really thought it was going to be something that continued. Because, like, in Season 2, when they had the armed conflict between the NASA base and the Roscosmos base, like, that was, like, the last 3-4 episodes of the season. Like, that was, like, a big ongoing thing. And I really thought that the strike was going to be that big ongoing thing. So I am disappointed that that ended. But also, I made a prediction, and even though that prediction was based on me missing information, I still ended up being correct. So Kelly, Ed's daughter, has moved to Mars with her son, Alex. And I predicted, I'm like, okay, look, there's no chance that they have a child-size astronaut suit built for this kid. So they're just not going to address that when he gets to Mars. He's just going to be on the Mars base after landing. They're just not going to address any of it. And even though a commenter pointed out on my video afterward that they had mentioned that there is tourism on the moon now, and one of Alex's classmates had gone to a moon hotel, meaning that they had to have had a child-sized spacesuit developed, they still don't show a child-sized spacesuit. They just land the pod and then suddenly they're inside the base. No child spacesuit or anything like that. So I was still correct that we weren't going to see it and they weren't even going to address it. Another big thing, though, with the strike is because they're striking, they aren't refining fuel. And they need the fuel to be able to launch the asteroid capture attempt from Mars. And they're on a tight timeline because the asteroid is, right now passing its way through and they're going to miss their window otherwise. So because all of the workers are on strike, they get a couple of astronauts to Scab and head over to the refinery and get it started up themselves, but they're not trained on it. And there has been parts removed from the refinery and they try to jury rig their way around it and they cause an explosion, which injures 5 people, I think kills 2 of them. It's really bad. And I think the lesson there is don't scab. But that's most of what's been going on Mars. Back on Earth, the new Russian president, chairman, I don't know, because it's still the USSR in this timeline, but he's the guy who cooed Gorbachev. He wants to really stick it to NASA, to the US, specifically to President Al Gore, by sending Margot Madison as a liaison to NASA. Now, Margot, who used to run NASA, but, then defected after giving nuclear secrets to the Russians, she's kind of the biggest traitor of the United States in a long time. And here she is being given diplomatic immunity to go back to NASA and liaise with them there. And people are not happy about that. So that's going to be something going on. And even though Aleda, who Margot revealed herself to so that they could work on the problem, even though Aleda was willing to put that aside and do the work, she does not want Margot to come back. She wants Margot to be arrested for her crimes. So we're going to see some conflict there as well. This was actually a pretty short episode, but a lot happened in it. And I am disappointed that the workers' rights part of it seems to just be over now, but there's still a lot of exciting stuff to happen on the show. I'm looking forward to seeing where it ends. Hey, thanks for watching. Your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific and Sundays at 2 p.m., so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons, with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone friend tier patron Pistol Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.